This is the mountain Snøhetta, but basically we're not named after this mountain. We're named after a beer place in Oslo. The mountain area is called Dovre, and on top of Dovre, the highest mountain, you have Snøhetta. Our first office was established above this beer place called the Hall of Dovre in the middle of Oslo. It's an extraordinarily contextual name. I'll use the time to talk a little bit about working methodology, and especially about creativity, because we believe that creativity is distinctive. It is as distinctive as the DNA of these reindeers, 30,000 years old. Same family that the whole of Europe were actually living from. And we talk about distinctive simplification. We're organized in what we call a cylinder model, where we were organized in a cylinder model. Maybe I have to do this. It doesn't come by click. So we go for the next. What I was going to show is a small film about a cylinder organization where everyone basically moves freely within the cylinder for them to go towards the goal. Because what we know is that every goal is a movement. So if you go in straight lines towards the goal, you are sure to miss. That idea is developed through singular in the plural, as we call it, which means you focus on the individual aspects of every individual in the office to be able to create the common situations of, let's say, collaborative work. And that's why this is our organizational diagram. We are seated and located like this, and within this setting, we have introduced what we call working methodology of transpositioning, or in short, transing. We invite specialists from all kinds of professions to sit around a table, but at that particular point, when we have invited them, we ask them to swap professions. So the architect becomes the artist becomes the landscape architect, the philosopher becomes the sociologist becomes the musician. So what we do is we turn this transpositioning methodology into 12 different generic drivers. The first one is zooming out. With the Apollo 8, and Lena used that picture, fantastic. The astronaut said, we came all the way to the moon to discover the Earth. Now, that means you zoom out to get a holistic perspective of what you do, number one. Number two, generative resistance, uncertainties, choose differently than what you're asked. The benches in Guatemala City, 300, are made to squat the sidewalks together with the local artists. Liberating laughter. Laughing is sustainable. Make sure that you laugh every day. And make sure that the way you deal with laughing is a way of portraying yourself. Be curious. Look at the things from a different perspective and try to double reality. These are the first facade developments for our Memorial Pavilion in New York, where actually the pictures that you display inside the building are capturing daylight on the outside. Do rapid prototyping. Go in and have a look at our industrial robot and be analog and digital at the same time. Take the file, transform it straight into the production line, and all of a sudden you have a building without one drawing. Get physical. What did Laurie Anderson say? She says, walking is preventing yourself from falling forward. So if you don't walk, you don't get in touch with yourself, but definitely not in touch with the landscape you're moving upon. Knowledge-based intuition. In the book, Invisible Cities by Italo Calvino, the discussion between Marco Polo and Kublai Khan says, the keystone is the culture of our society. If you remove it, the whole structure of our society will fall. We designed a building in Saudi Arabia based on a keystone. If you remove it, the building will collapse. And we clad it, of course, like a fingerprint. Be generous. Give space away. Make sure it can be experienced on an individual and on a collective level. Trust presence. 4 places in the office which we have particular interest in: the meeting table, dining table, the coffee machine, the meeting place, and the workshop. Eat, love, and pray. Party as much as you can, because there is maybe never a tomorrow. Martial art. Take the forces against you and turn them against your enemies. When you create a project which is extremely difficult to comprehend, which is based on negotiation throughout a long period of time, you have to transform the forces against you to work upon the work that you are creating. And as a final one, punk production. Don't do only legal stuff. Do illegal stuff. Well, this is Sweden. Thank you very much.